I mentioned when I was doing the part 2 of Cheryl 66 that I wasn't going to do a deep dive on cleaning parts, but I'm going to make an exception on the bobbin case because this is a particularly disgusting and foul part, and it is crucial that this gets cleaned properly. So I want to show you guys how I do a bobbin case, especially one that is this nasty. And believe you me, I don't often see them this nasty. So we're going to start with taking off the adjusting screw. That's the screw that's the larger of the two screws, and it rides on the spring in that raised boss. So I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to set that screw off to the side, out of the way. And then we're going to take the mounting screw off, which is the even smaller screw. And it can be a bit of a challenge to get off. I've got to find a small enough screwdriver that will actually get in there. There, this one will do it. Get that off, and I'm going to put that screw, you can see how tiny it is, I'm going to put that screw off to the side as well. Okay, off comes the spring, and you can see how grungy this spring is. There is no way on God's green earth that this bobbin case was going to function correctly as a bobbin case. It was just going to be nothing but a hot mess. All right, let me reposition here a little bit. And I'm going to take my flexible shaft tool with a fine stainless steel wire brush, and we're going to knock the majority of the crud off of this. But before we do that, look here. This is the business end here. This is the slot where the thread comes through, and all this crud. That's why this is in such desperate need of cleaning. All right, we're going to wire wheel this clean just to get the major stuff off, and then we're going to polish it. Okay, I can't get in where I need to get in with this wheel, so I'm going to change over to a different tool. Okay, the tool I'm going to use is this end brush. Now when I start this is going to start splaying out. This is going to rapidly deform, and it's never going to look like this again as soon as I turn this on. But this is going to allow me to get inside here and get into some of these other hard to reach spots. Make sure you wear eye protection when you use these. Okay, that removed the majority of the schmoo. Now I'm going to, actually I'm going to put a fresh felt wheel on, I'm going to put a fresh felt polishing wheel on my Moto tool here. These interchange, they just screw onto the mandrel, but I'm going to put a fresh one on to start this. And then we're going to use some white compound, and we're going to start working on the exterior of this bobbin case. Then we're going to put a cylindrical point on and get some of the inside portions. So here we go. I'm going to charge this up with white, and then we're going to attack that. Cutting that speed down a little bit. And I have to keep on recharging this with white compound occasionally as we go. But you'll see it's cutting a lot of this crud off of here. Now here's the area where the thread path is. Here. Now, while I have the larger piece on, I'm going to use, I'm grabbing my block of wood. I've got a pair of non-marring pliers here. I'm just going to clean the outside of this case, the spring a little bit, and I'm supporting this with my finger on this block of wood. No pressure, just lightly touching it. And this is going to get a lot of this old oil and crud. Whoop. Spring went flying, which is why we don't press, and it's also why I keep a magnet on a stick handy. There we go. But you can see that's cleaning up nicely. A little bit more compound on there. Basically just touching it to it, no pressure at all. Okay, that got awfully warm there for a moment, as you could probably tell. And you know what, this inside I'm not going to do with this wide one. I'm going to use a different tool for that. So let me go ahead. I'm going to change to a cylindrical polishing point. I'm going to grab two, actually. I'm going to grab a small and a medium-sized one. We'll take the medium-sized one first, the larger of the two. I'm going to charge this up with compound. I'm going to work the inside. Got to get some compound on the end as well, so I can get that inner portion on the bottom. Okay, that's getting powerfully warm at the moment. So before we go any further, Let's wipe out some of the polishing dirt that's in there. Get that out with some paper towel, and I'm going to go in with cotton swabs and clean that out too. That is looking considerably better than it had been. You know, that inside looks like it can actually support bobbins working in there again. But we're going to get in a little bit more. I'm not quite happy with that bottom ring, so I'm going to make sure I get some compound on the very bottom and get in there a little bit tighter. There we go. And we'll wipe that out. Actually, let me grab some cotton swabs. And we'll get in here and we're going to really clean out the shmoo. Okay. And you can see that interior now is perfect. Now I'm going to put a smaller polishing point on and get some of the finer points. It's really not necessary for functionality, but it's necessary for me for aesthetics. And we're at the point now where aesthetics count. And then we'll attack the rest of that spring. Clean the crap out of these. Okay. Get the crud out of these little dimple areas. All right. Fortunately, the wire wheel got in nicely inside here, so we didn't have to fight that too badly. And all right, now the body of the case looks good. Let's go back and let's finish off the inside surface of the spring. So I'm going to hold that tightly and firmly with my non-marring pliers. I'm going to charge this up with some compound and very lightly hit the inside of the spring. A little more compound. We'll wipe the buffing dirt off, of which there is copious quantities, and clean it off of this cotton swab. And we now have a nice, highly polished inside surface of the spring on that portion. Now we're going to come back and get the other side by where the screws are. Once again, no pressure, just touching it to it. And then we're going to wipe this off. And the inside of the spring is great. Okay, now putting this back together is always a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to use my small Stanley machinist vise to hold this in position, and I've got the spring on the bobbin case. I put a button magnet, as you can see here, on my small screwdriver, and that allows the tiny screw to stay in place. And I'm going to use my thumb here to hold that to get it started. There you can see it's going, and it's going in. Okay, that's in. And now we're going to lather, rinse, repeat using the same trick with the button magnet and the adjusting screw to get it started. There we go. Take the magnet off. And there we are. This will, of course, get adjusted once it goes back into the machine and the machine is done. But there you go, kids. That's how I do bobbin cases for a 66. So that's what I've got for you for this episode of Cheryl's 66. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.